But what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. Well, come on, man, that kid was a cakewalk.
You know, ain't nothing wrong. Canelo always has had a problem with boxers. He always struggles when he fights a boxer. Anybody knows that if you can box and take a punch, you're gonna give him a hard time. Bud is not one of these guys that's gonna quit.
Bud Crawford soundly defeating Canelo Alvarez. We thought that maybe he could have won by even a further margin on the scorecards. He gets it done unanimously. Teddy, can you put into words what we just saw from Terence Crawford?
Well, the only thing I wonder is if Crawford was born and made in a laboratory.
Floyd Mayweather didn't hold back after Canelo Alvarez's loss to Terence Crawford. He mocked Canelo, claiming that the Mexican star isn't the same fighter he used to be and that his reputation has always been inflated. Mayweather also revealed he backed Crawford from the very beginning, even putting down a hefty bet on him. That confidence paid off, as reports showed he cashed in big when Crawford got the win. An X account even shared what looked like the betting slip, saying Floyd pocketed serious money after wagering $50,000 on Crawford. As for Canelo, the defeat didn't break his spirit. He showed respect to Crawford, calling him a worthy champion who deserved the victory. Still, Canelo made it clear he isn't finished. He stressed that he feels strong, motivated, and ready to move forward. By expressing interest in a possible rematch with Crawford, Canelo proved his fighting spirit is alive and well, determined to protect his pride and legacy.
From the beginning, that if you go back, and I know it was a lot of years ago, I get it, but you have to have something to point at. If you go back to when he lost his first fight, of course, Canelo I'm talking about, to Mayweather, it wasn't just that his hands were too slow, his feet were too slow. And he's in there with a guy with quick feet and quicker hands. You know what? It doesn't matter how big he is. What did Ali say? Your hands cannot hit what your eyes cannot see. That was tonight. It was great.
Let's put some context on this.
It was great.
Let's put some context on this victory first. A year out of the ring. I think it was like 13 some odd months out of the ring, okay?
Yeah, really?
Yeah. 2 weight classes. Think about that.
Yep.
He had surgery early at the beginning of the year. Surgery on the shoulder surgery, right? Not sure which one. And to come in here and to put on that type of performance against Canelo that actually is coming off a performance, right? You expected Canelo to be sharp. He was sharp. However, what Crawford did was he took the air out of the ball.
Yep.
He used this. That's what boxing's about, people. It's about this. Strategy. That's what he had. He used his feet. He understood Canelo every single movement. That's why Canelo couldn't land any shots on him. He knew what was coming. He knew that the looping right hand was going to come from the southpaw position. So what did he do? Hold the phone. He knew that the hook to the body was going to come. What did he do? Block, and he shot up with counters.
One of his great assets that we don't hear about enough. One of those things that are not so easily as immeasurable on paper, but it's eyes, vision.
Focus.
Yeah, we know the physical ones we talk about and we understand so easily. Speed, power, quickness, legs, all that stuff. But eyes, radar. This guy's got infrared.
Sports journalist Ariel Helwani was among the first to break the news online, confirming the official scorecards that crowned Terence Crawford the winner over Canelo Alvarez. The unanimous decision came in at 116-1-12, 115-1-13, and 115-113, showing that while the fight was competitive, the judges consistently favored Crawford's control throughout the rounds. Helwani's update spread quickly, marking the moment as a historic shift, Crawford defeating one of boxing's most iconic champions. The numbers told the story of a disciplined, calculated performance that secured his place among the sport's elite. Teofimo Lopez, never shy with his opinions, added his own reaction. He praised the fight as a clash between two of the best in the world and made it clear he believed the right man got the victory. Lopez went further, declaring that Crawford now deserves recognition as one of the top 10 fighters of all time. For him, Crawford's composure, precision, and execution weren't just enough to win the night. They cemented his standing in boxing history. Praise from an active champion like Lopez only strengthens the impact of Crawford's win, showing how deeply respected his achievement is across the boxing community.
Of his prime, how can you gauge it? Doesn't matter. We saw a great fight tonight, did we not? That's all that matters. 2 guys risked it.
and the better man won tonight. That was Crawford.
Terence got it right. Is there no need for a rematch, or do you want to see running back? Because it was pretty good, like you said.
No, it was pretty, it was really good, actually.
Yeah.
So it's up to the jam. He's a jam. He can do whatever he wants.
What do you think happens with Canelo next after this?
What happens to Canelo after this? It don't matter. He's made a big statement for not only Mexico or the pride of Mexico, but for all Latinos right there. So he's done a great job for himself, man. Nevertheless, Crawford is on his way, continuing to create greatness.
Mentally.
What's up?
You fought for Crawford earlier. You see them, you can call it like that.
I know boxing. I just know stylistically. I've been in the gym with, I've shared the ring with Canelo, and then I see that. So
They were saying that if he beats Canelo, it could put him as even the greatest of all time. What does that put him in the all-time list, man?
At least top 10.
At least
top 10
10
or top 15,
Yeah.
easily, you know? There's guys that we may not know of or heard of, like Henry Armstrong. Simultaneously, he was 3 divisions carrying all 3 weight divisions at the same time.
Which performance was better? I don't like to compare them, but Crawford or Mayweather's over Canelo. Like it's just different.
It's just different styles, different looks, you know?
At the post-fight press conference, Canelo Alvarez was asked to reflect on what it was like sharing the ring with both Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford. His response immediately made headlines. Canelo admitted that Crawford left the bigger impression on him, particularly in the championship rounds where sharpness and control are most critical. He even went as far as to say that, in his eyes, Crawford showed qualities that surpassed what he experienced against Mayweather. That bold remark not only highlighted the respect he now has for Crawford, but also ignited a fresh debate among fans about how the two legends stack.
In the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
In the wake of Canelo Alvarez's defeat, questions immediately started swirling about what comes next for the Mexican superstar. His words and body language left many wondering if retirement could be on the horizon, especially now that Terence Crawford's win has shifted the spotlight of boxing. The bout itself was seen as a masterclass from Crawford, using his ring IQ, precision, and adaptability to take control and capture the belts. Analysts are already calling the victory historic, cementing Crawford as one of the defining fighters of this generation. For Canelo, the loss has sparked debate about whether his time at the very top is coming to a close. For Crawford, however, it marks the moment he officially stamped himself as the face of modern boxing and etched his name into history.
Was going to create history. I told you guys this before he fought Sean Porter. I said that Terence Bud Crawford can beat first ballot Hall of Famer and superstar and legend Canelo Alvarez. I've been saying this for years, that Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. And tonight, he did just that. He did just that. Not only did he beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, but he arguably retired Canelo Alvarez, who after the fight, Canelo Alvarez stated that he's done everything that he needed to do in the sport of boxing. When asked do he want a rematch with Terence Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez said, "It's no need." He gave no indications of a rematch. And Canelo Alvarez stated that he's a Hall of Famer, he's a winner, just being there made him a winner, right? And he stated that he's done everything he needed to do in the sport of boxing. That's what he said. Canelo Alvarez got schooled once again. I told you guys, styles make fights. This style, this particular style of boxers and counterpunchers and movers has historically given Canelo Alvarez problems. And as I told you guys, right? Terence Crawford can fight any which way he chooses to fight. He's just that much more versatile. And everybody didn't believe me. They said I was tripping. Canelo was too big. He gonna knock out Terence Crawford. right? He too big, too strong. Terence Crawford get hit. Terence Crawford don't box, don't move. And I told you guys, when Terence Crawford wants to move and wants to box, right, he can. And he would, right? And guess what? Terence Crawford, I told you guys, when he fought the likes of Victor Postol, right? Y'all said that, oh, he don't move that much. I said, did you look at his fight with Victor Postol? Did you look at his fight with Jose Benavidez? Yeah, well, those guys ain't Canelo Alvarez. And I told you guys, it doesn't matter if they're Canelo Alvarez. It's about Terence Crawford's ability to be able to maneuver around and box in every which manner he so chooses. If he wants to incorporate that style that he boxes and moves, he could. And what did he do tonight? I said Terence Crawford could fight at every level. Didn't I tell you guys that? I said Terence Crawford can fight in mid-range. He can fight on the outside. He can fight on the inside. Canelo Alvarez cannot. Y'all ask me, why aren't you talking about what Canelo Alvarez could do great? And I told you, because we know what Canelo Alvarez is going to do. He's going to fight. He's consistent in who he is and how he fights. Period. I told you guys that.
Boxing icon Andre Ward wasted no time in putting Terence Crawford's performance into context. He described it as nothing short of historic, a generational fight that will be remembered for decades to come. Ward explained that nights like this are what define a career, separating the greats from the true legends. What impressed him most was Crawford's ability to dismantle Canelo Alvarez while staying disciplined and composed through every round. For Ward, this wasn't just a big win, it was a GOAT-level moment. By framing it this way, he essentially placed Crawford into the conversation of the greatest fighters of all time, highlighting just how monumental this victory truly was.
But create greatness and beat Canelo Alvarez tonight. What was your thoughts on that performance from Terence?
Terence Crawford is great performance, man. He's been doing this throughout the course of his career. The stakes were a lot different in this fight, a lot more danger. He had to fight that kind of fight in order to beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, and he did that at 37, but getting ready to be 38 years old. And he proved, like Max said, that he is the GOAT of this generation. Hats off to Canelo for taking the fight. He didn't have to take it. Hats off to Turkey Al-Sheikh for putting it together. Just a great, great night for boxing.
Yeah. How special a fighter is someone like Terence Crawford? There was no signs of a size disadvantage there. How special?
You can see it in spots, but it wasn't significant. And I didn't think it was going to be significant. And people call me crazy, but I've been around Terence. He's strong. He's got a wrestling background, and people don't realize that he's been boiling himself down all these years and still being successful, not having to do that. His condition seemed impeccable, and his strength was there, the power was there enough to get respect from Canelo. So what more can I say?
What would you like to see him do next? Do you think there's another fight after this?
I'd like to see him be done. What are we boxing for at this point? What else is there to do? There's always going to be a YouTuber or a reporter or somebody conjuring up another challenge. We box to get ourselves in a better financial position, to build a name and a legacy. Those boxes are checked. What else are we doing?
And rising prospect Keyshawn Davis, who has long looked up to Terence Crawford as both a mentor and an inspiration, reacted with pure pride after the victory. He referred to Crawford as one of the GOATs, a label younger fighters rarely use unless the performance truly earns it. Davis praised how Crawford executed his strategy with surgical precision, never allowing Canelo to settle into a rhythm. For him, this fight wasn't just about winning a belt. It was about proving that true greatness comes from skill, intelligence, and relentless hard work. His reaction captured how deeply this moment resonates with the next generation of fighters hoping to follow the path Crawford has laid out.
What's up, bro? Baby. Yes, sir.
What do you think made the difference?
The speed, really.
Yeah.
I think it was the main factor. Canelo couldn't really keep up with him. He was too fast. His feet, footwork was too good.
Do you think the scores was right on, or do you think maybe it was a little more towards Bud?
What was the scorecards?
115, 113, 116, 112.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
I feel like Bud damn near basically won every round, so
yeah.
But yeah, that's about right. You can say that.
Now, with this accomplishment, Keyshawn, is he on the Mount Rushmore of
Hell
boxers?
yeah. Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great, but he definitely one of the greatest of all time, for sure.
Former heavyweight king Lennox Lewis didn't hold back in his breakdown of the fight. He openly questioned how any judge could justify giving 5 rounds to Canelo, arguing that Crawford was clearly the sharper, more effective boxer all night. Lewis pointed out that Canelo has historically struggled against fighters with strong footwork, and once again Crawford's mobility proved to be the deciding factor. While Lewis admitted he had anticipated more explosive exchanges, he praised the technical brilliance on display. His comments underscored both the limitations in Canelo's style and the way Crawford's adaptability completely shut down the Mexican champion's offense.
Let me tell you, great fight. I was hoping that there was more action coming from Canelo. You know, I'm used to Canelo fighting that way all the time. He tried his best. He always has trouble against movers. I was really expecting them to be more punches, more movement by Canelo. What can you say?
This reminds me of the point that Jaya Bhatai made yesterday, and you picked up on it. He said he's coming in with all his belts. Terence looks like he's still hungry, and Canelo looks like he's whining and dining in his success. Do you think that might be the difference tonight?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it was a little bit of difference. The cat has got really fat, so he tried his best. I've seen Canelo box about many times, and I thought that this time he just boxed like he always boxes. And then I felt he couldn't really do nothing against Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford was too quick, too elusive. Anybody would find trouble with him, but Canelo couldn't find him.
The scorecards were 2 red, 115, 113. Were they right with the cards?
It was for Canelo to win a round. I say he won about 3 rounds in that fight. I was actually amazed at the way how Terence Crawford moved and never got hit, and threw combinations, because that's what you're supposed to do, throw combinations. So he threw combinations. He wasn't trying to knock out Canelo, but he definitely was throwing a lot of punches, a lot of combinations.
Roy Jones Jr., widely regarded as one of the most gifted fighters the sport has ever seen, was left impressed by what unfolded in the ring. He described Crawford's victory as a masterclass built on patience, precision, and strategy. According to Jones, Canelo has often had difficulty with opponents who bring speed and movement, and Crawford highlighted that weakness in decisive fashion. For Jones, this wasn't just a win, it was a dismantling of Canelo's usual game plan, leaving him with no clear solutions. His reaction reinforced the notion that Crawford's display was not only dominant, but also technically exceptional, erasing any doubt about who controlled the night.
That's a beautiful performance, exactly what I expected. All I want to see was could you take a punch? If you take a punch, you know what's going to happen to that.
Did you expect him to trade with Canelo like that on the inside?
Yes, we spoke on the airplane going to Dubai.
Yeah.
The only thing I told him was that you could not give Canelo the center of the ring. And earlier he gave it to him, but then he started outboxing and outsmarting with it, and he started taking it back at the right time. So he studied his film very well. He knew when to fight, when to move left, and when to move right. It was a very smart fight. He completely frustrated Canelo.
Did you score it, Roy?
Huh?
Did you score it?
No, I didn't score it. But I think probably was something like 8-4.
8-4?
Yep.
What do you think should happen next, Roy?
I have no clue.
Crawford put himself amongst the all-time greats like yourself with that.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
5-weight world champion,
Yes.
3-weight undisputed champion.
Yes.
Where are you putting him in the all-time list?
Hard to beat that.
That wraps up today's video. Make sure to stay tuned for the next one. More boxing updates and breakdowns are coming your way.